Hi everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. I wanted to come and make a video as it relates to pain in the area of the big toe in the middle area. A lot of people have been actually having discomfort in that area, so I definitely want to address that. But before getting started, I always like to get hydrated, which I've had some water. But I want to make sure that before I start working on myself, I have a little bit more. So if you're going to be working along with me today, I invite you to drink some water as well. Give me just a moment, please. All right, so before I actually start moisturizing my hands and feet, I just want to take an opportunity to speak a little bit about the area of concern, because as I mentioned, several have been experiencing pain within this area of the big toe, and that's actually where the pituitary gland is. And so I'll talk a little bit about why some of the pain might be occurring there. But also, this is the time for you to have this sacred space to tune into your body, to start building that relationship with your body so you can start learning the wisdom that you need to extract that's going to be uniquely for you. Because we can search on the internet or read certain books, and it can tell us about different levels of pain and different things going on in the body when we start feeling a certain way. But what I also know to be true is that sometimes it's an indication of something else. Not saying that those other elements and aspects of the research aren't relevant, but we can't just stop there. But when you can have a relationship with your body, then you can get that accurate wisdom to know what's going on, or just how you need to address it. Because sometimes maybe the body's not even going to give you what the actual cause is. It may just say, here's what you need to do, and then you start improving just based on the actions that you take from that wisdom. So I'm going to invite everyone right now to take a nice deep breath, please. Okay. So if you are having or experiencing discomfort in this particular area right here, it could be that there's inflammation that's in the body. There are a lot of different reasons why that pain could be occurring. Sometimes it could be the shoes that you're wearing. Also, your body could be stressed. And also, too, maybe you're lacking hydration. So there's a variety of reasons why you could be experiencing pain, in that area. Also, if you've had some type of recent trauma in terms of whether you've bumped your foot or so, even unknowingly, that could be a reason. But if you're actually experiencing pain on both sides or discomfort on both sides, then that's some type of imbalance that's going on within the body. So I'm just going to share an example. A few weeks ago, and some of you may have seen this video where I was experiencing discomfort right here and right here, and that's parallel to both of my feet, right? So that's pain going on in both feet. And what I knew for myself is that I was not as hydrated as I needed to be. And someone who's even a hydration coach, I don't always get the proper hydration, and sometimes it could just be based on, even if I'm drinking a lot of water, maybe the body is requiring for me to get more of the hydration through food. So it's just a matter of being able to tune in and make sure that I'm getting hydrated at the cellular level. And that's something that I teach on, is hydration at the cellular level, because we can drink a lot of water and do the things that we think our body needs for hydration, and it may not be that the hydration is actually reaching the cells. So when that occurs, then pain sets up in the body, discomforts in various areas. And as I mentioned, normally when you have kind of the dual thing going on, like if you have it in one foot or one hand or one part of the body, then you could say, well, maybe there's something going on there. Maybe, I bruised myself or something was accidental, or however. But when you have it in both areas, parallel across the board, then normally is something very much internal. And again, it could be inflammation, it could be a variety of things. But we're going to take just a little bit of time to get present with the body. And if you're having pain in that area, or you know someone else who's been experiencing pain in this area, or also too, you just want to listen in case that could potentially occur for you, or it could be something that you're going to listen into just from a preventive, strategy. We're going to take an opportunity just to be present with the body. So at this time, you can choose to give your body a name or so. It's always good when you can actually treat your body, even though it's one cohesive unit that you function as. But if you could treat your body like a partner, like a separate entity for a moment, and so that you can get that communication as if someone is talking with you, communicating back with you, it's really helpful. And I know this takes time and it takes some practice and everything, but at least start. So let's take a few moments before I start doing some work in these areas and talking a little bit more about this. Let's just take a few moments to, be intentional about listening to the body's wisdom. So I'm just going to hold the space for you to do that. You can ask some empowering questions in terms of, what is going on with me? At this time, I'm having discomfort in this area. Is there any wisdom or insight that you have for me? And so again, you can just be present with your body, or give your body a name and ask that question. So we're going to do that during this time. So take about 3 deep breaths, please. So as you're being present and asking your body the question that I provided as sort of a prompt and a trigger, something that's coming up right now is about focusing on the possibilities versus the pain, and what is the potential here. Normally there's always a gift within any scenario that we have going on, and sometimes pain is just a call to pay attention, to wake up and to take notice. But as we're taking notice, it's not so much just of taking notice of the pain that's going on. It's what is the possibilities here? What is the potential here? There's a purpose. So you can ask, well, what is the purpose of this? And I know it's for my highest and best good. So let's just be present with that intention. What is the higher purpose and potential and possibilities around this communication through the pain in the pituitary gland area? Take about 5 deep breaths, please. Okay, just going to give us a little bit more time just to be present in case your body is communicating to you. And if not, just, be present in the space here and know that relief and greater expansion is underway for you. Okay. So as you all are continuing to be present and you can continue to do some deep breathing, I am going to go ahead and start moisturizing my hands and feet. And I invite those who are going to work along with me to do the same. And those of you who just want to just pay attention at this time, like I said, for the information purposes and the demonstration purposes, because you can always go back and practice this later. We have options. Okay. I may come back in moisturize my feet some more. I'm feeling guided to start with the hands, but what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about just this area that most are experiencing discomforts, because I've heard it now in the last week, really from 3 different scenarios. And so, as I mentioned, that there can be a variety of reasons why the pain, is occurring. But something that I do want to say that is extremely helpful and typically safe to do for anyone, but still check in with your body just to make sure, is that if you are experiencing any pain or discomfort in your feet, it's a really good thing to soak your feet. And there are plenty of different foot soaks that can be beneficial that you can look up online. Typically, I recommend doing the Epsom salt and the baking soda, type of soak. But again, you have to be present with your body and just get that accurate wisdom of how you need to, proceed. So one of the things that I want to start with is talking more about the nervous system. And sometimes when the body is under stress, that can cause different levels of pain in the body. Also within this area, sometimes there could be some nerve damage or the onset of nerve damage. Now, not to be alarmed, because that is something that can certainly be, corrected, and even you being able to practice DIY body work on yourself can help to improve and enhance and restore, those areas. But also, if you feel guided to go to a physician and to check in, definitely do that. But again, being able to be present with your body so that you can know exactly what you need to do is what's going to be best and most beneficial for you. So the nervous system, and I'm going to cover it on, on both the feet, and the hand, is that's the communications hub. And so when we work the spine, which most of you have seen me do this demonstration in several videos, is that it starts to send the communication factor to your entire system and putting it on alert that it's getting ready for some higher level stimulation. And so when we have pain in the body, sometimes we're not even needing to focus specifically on that area or directly, on that area. So an example too is just like when we're doing reflexology. So we know we're working on, different parts of the foot that are stimulating higher functionality to different organs and systems, within the body. And so we're not touching sometimes directly. Like if I have a stomach ache, I'm not working directly, rubbing my stomach, so to speak. I would then, be working in the digestive tract, which is, right in this area. And it gets worked in one particular area, and it's on the left foot. And so with the pain that's in our body, sometimes it is the same. So though we can be experiencing pain somewhere, you can ask your body, is there a place that I need to soothe? Is there a mindset that I need to have? Do I need to focus on another area besides going right in on that specific area? Another example is that when people have Charlie horses or foot cramps, I normally recommend that you rub your ankles. Do some ankle, massaging, mostly the circles, even before you start trying to work directly on that area, because it prepares the entire foot for the higher level stimulation. And so being able to do the work there is very important, and also working on your wrist. When we work on these areas, it really helps to take the stress out of the body. But when we work on the nervous system, going up the spine, it does the same. And so I know in a lot of videos that I've done, you see me do a lot of the spinal walking and the working on the brain. But we're going to be very mindful about this during this time, because for those of you who are actually having pain, in that area, there are a few ways that pain can be relieved, but we do have to be present, with the pain. So before I start doing the spinal walk here on the foot, and then starting to address the pineal gland, and then the pituitary gland is where most people are experiencing, that pain. I want to start with actually doing the thumb walk, or kind of a caterpillar walk up the spine, and then addressing the pituitary gland on the thumb pad, okay? Because if you're having and experiencing problems in that area, that means that there's some stimulation that needs to occur, but you have options because you can actually work it here. But I will address that in just a moment. So if those of you who want to work along with me, we're going to do kind of a worm walk or caterpillar walk, so to speak. And so I want you to just start here and make some gentle circles. I'm pressing in a little bit on mine. I'm used to doing this, so I have momentum to be able to deal with a certain amount, of pressure. And I work on my nervous system consistently because I'm empathic, and so it kind of requires me to work on my nervous system even more. And so just going to do some walks here. So I normally recommend that we do this about 3 times. Today, we're not going to do it 3 times here because we are going to work on the foot. Just going to go up here. So I just wanted to do a demonstration. I'm going to come back and do it again here, just working up the side. This is the spine, and again, it's helping out with the central nervous system, getting that communication factor ready. All right. So this is the brain right in here. Compress. Take some deep breaths. And then right in here is the pituitary gland. All right, and that's where most people are experiencing within the hook of their toe. They're experiencing pain there. So I want you to press in here. Take a deep belly breath, please. And if you're not experiencing any pain in here, I want you to just make a few circles here, just in a very gentle way. Okay, you can be light about it. Like I said, I'm doing a little bit of pressure, with mine. All right, and then just rub your thumb. Okay, so just rub all up your thumb here, and even rub up your spine. Right. And I'm going to tell you why I started here, and talk about a few other things in just a moment. I mentioned about being able to help take stress off the body. So one of the things that I highly recommend when doing the hand reflexology aspect is really starting to just rub your entire hand, because you're touching a variety of different organs as you're doing that. But right in here, where you are actually touching on the intestines and even kidney area, there's different points, for it, but, right in here, this really starts to help to relieve stress in a lot of different areas. And so, like I said, I really recommend just doing a nice hand massage. And I'm just going to do it just on one hand just for now. But you can spend some time. You can spend some time in this area. Have to remember I'm showing you, so I keep putting my hand up like I'm doing it myself, and I remember that I'm demonstrating here. So yeah. Because sometimes when you're touching another area, like I said, in the body, it helps to bring some relief and comfort to other areas. So I'm going to work on the wrist here. Just do a little bit of rubbing. And some might be like, what does this have to do with pain in the big toe? Again, reflexology and even the DIY body massage is not linear. And as I mentioned earlier, sometimes you may have to touch another area on your body or your emotional state or so, and could cause things to shift in another area. Okay. All right. So I'm going to come over here. Let me reposition myself a little bit better, and actually I'm going to get some more moisturization going on here, at least for this foot for the time being. All right, as I'm doing this, and some of you are doing this as well, let's spend a little time just rubbing the ankles and setting that powerful intention as it relates to the pituitary gland. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that area with the brain and the pineal gland, and then speak a little bit more about the pituitary gland. And not from a lesson, type of standpoint. It is just identification and starting to prepare the body to be stimulated in other areas, because sometimes we don't have to touch directly, as I mentioned, on a particular area. But something that I actually do sometimes, even when I'm working on someone, I always, get a gauge of what their pain level is. And even when they are experiencing some discomfort in certain areas, I may actually put just a little bit of pressure on that area. And a lot of times what happens, I start working that area a little bit, the pain actually starts to go away. And it may seem like opposite. Well, if they're having pain, you shouldn't be working on that area with the pain. But there are different ways, because even for myself, I can work around the area that's painful, and it can actually produce some relief. But I also notice that when I do put a little pressure and do some deep breathing, it actually starts to ease it up, at least ease it up enough that I can start working, with it. But everyone's body, like I said, is different. And because we're talking about DIY body work here, again, you have to just be present. But yeah, so this just spend some time rubbing, like I said, just rubbing the ankles. Now, I know in a lot of the videos that you see, I like to do a warm-up with opening up, the hips. And so I'm going to do a little bit of that now, but I'm not going to actually spend as much time as I normally would. I recommend the 30 seconds. I'm just going to lightly just rub in here. I'm so used to digging in with myself, but I'm just going to be really gentle here, right? Just really getting the foot relaxed and prepared. Do feel the spinal twist here, just real gentle here, right? Because if you're in pain, this is the time definitely to have some gentleness with yourself. So let's do some worm walking here. And we're just going to actually go up the spine just one time. You don't have to be fancy with this. Any level of touch is going to be good. I'm actually going to go all the way up the big toe, and then we'll go back down. Okay. So I'm going to come here and let me just give some identification to the foot. So right here on this pad, which is considered to be one of the sinus pads, but you're actually working the brain right here. Right in here is the pineal gland. It's also known in the chakra system as the third eye. And it's a little tiny, little rice size type of organ, if you will, that's right connected with the pituitary gland. They both are small glands. But the pituitary gland is more of this kind of master hub for your hormones, and yeah, just supports your functionality. So right now, before I start talking a little bit more about other areas of the big toe, let's just do some rubbing here. And I want you to gauge if you're having pain and where that pain is. Like, are you having pain over here? Having pain over here, at the top, right in here? Or is it at that hook? Because most people are having it right here at that hook. But I want to see if there's any other pain surrounding or radiating when you press that. Is it radiating to any other parts? If the reason why I'm asking is because that's where we can start to do, some gentle rubbing. So the big toe in general works the face. Got your mouth, you have your neck, getting down into the thyroid. Over here is the nose. But it's important to actually work the big toe, or in the hand reflexology, work the brain and everything in this area, is because you do need that stimulation. But if you are experiencing the pain and discomfort, like I said, then we want to be mindful about that. So what I'm going to do now, and if you feel guided to do this, you can. So we're going to test kind of the pain level here. So if you press in here and you feel pain that is less than, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, if it's less than a 6, I'm going to invite you to press in, take a deep breath, and just hold for a few seconds. Now release. So now let's go back to this area. I want you to make a gentle circle here. Take a deep breath. Right. So if you are feeling pain radiate to any other place in your body, or you're feeling some pain or so that gets stirred up somewhere else, what I'm going to invite you to do is actually start to rub this area. This is the neck reflex, but also supports the thyroid as well. But just begin to rub here, because we want the body to get in a very relaxed state in terms of stress relief. And if you weren't feeling any pain in the other surrounding areas, then begin again to just rub. Just make some stimulation around that particular area. And because this is dealing with the brain, we definitely want to be mindful. But I would work more on the hand reflex in this area, especially if there's something that really needs to be stimulated. But just by doing this is actually doing some stimulation here. So also you can work the front. If you're feeling any pain, like I said, whatsoever, and it is less than a 6, you can actually continue to do some gentle rubbing. But if it's more than that, then I'm going to recommend spending more time working on the ankle area. But also too, getting hydrated and soaking your feet. But also too, diet plays a huge part in this, because if there's inflammation in this area, he said it's an internal thing that's happening. So you want to make sure that you are eating properly. And again, that's going to be very different for each body. You know, there's a lot, as I mentioned, information out here. And I definitely have information. I'm a nutrition coach, as well. But one of the things that I do know is that, again, going back to being present with the body, it's going to tell you exactly what you need versus someone saying you need to eat more of this and you need to drink more of that in order for this to help you. Everybody's body is different and requires something very unique. So a customization, just for you. So we're just spending some time here. I'm trying to be gentle. You all know me. I can, I'm so used to being able to work on myself, and I've got that momentum. But I am gentle with myself, as well. But I do know there are times where, I have to dig in, for sure. But, yeah. So let's just do. So I want you to press right in here again, and if there's still pain, then we're going to go back to working around here on the neck, and then we'll do just some general foot massage, as well. But a lot of times like I said, when I'm working on someone or even myself, and I do put a little bit of pressure, like I said, I try to be mindful though in this area because it is the brain area. But putting just a little bit of pressure normally helps to relieve, give some relief, starts to stimulate, because a lot of times we have stagnant energy that's within us. And when you can start moving the blood and getting that circulation going, then it starts to ease up, these different areas. Sometimes we have what is called like a waterlog energy dam that's, blocking the flow that needs to come. And so sometimes when you have pain isolated in a certain area, it could be that there is not enough circulation, not enough blood flow getting to that particular area. And like I said, sometimes it is inflammation, but again, just have to check in, with your body. So just doing some gentle rubbing here. So also, coming down in this area here, from here down, and some of you have seen videos that I've done where you're working on your intestines and your colon area, your bowel area. And sometimes you need some relief in different areas in order for pain, like I said, to subside in another area. So I'm being guided to work in this area for you all as a demonstration. So it's right under here. Okay, just move around a little bit. I've got a little tenderness going there, so I'm actually gonna work a little bit in this area for myself here. And already it's gone. So yeah, that's why I said sometimes there's pain in areas and we aren't even aware until we touch it, but once we start moving that energy, then like I said, then it can go away, and that's shifted tremendously. It's like it was never there. Okay. So, yeah. So work a little bit more here. This may be a longer video because I feel that there is the need to do a lot more of the massaging than even so much the reflexology. We just want to be able to get the body, like I said, more in a relaxed state. And again, going back to the pain here is once you soak your feet or you check in with your body to know exactly what it is that you need to do, the reflexology or even acupressure or the massage is going to benefit you, obviously, in a greater way. That's the thing, that healing and wholeness is not always a linear factor. It's interesting how I can come and touch in this area here, which I'm feeling guided to actually work in this area a little bit here. Different areas on the body help to stimulate our different organ functions, and it's just amazing how it's all connected, or what is connected, And also something that's coming to mind is mindset also too, that where you stagnate possibly in your thinking, and not from a judgmental standpoint. At times we all are stagnant in some area, even areas that we've been masterful in. When we don't continue to grow and evolve, then we become, kind of stagnant. We hit a plateau. And so sometimes you can ask yourself in terms of your pituitary area, am I at a plateau, and is this a time for me to be shifting? What do I need to think about in a different way? What do I need to see? What new approaches in life, can I take? And sometimes it is just very subtle things like that that can really start to shift the energy. A lot of times when you're in pain, sometimes it's a call to higher pleasure too. Where do I need more pleasure in a certain area? And going back here to even the pineal gland is that, again, in the energy body system, the chakra system, also known as the third eye, it's time for greater visioning. So sometimes you can work more on that pineal gland that sometimes is calcified and start to work that, and it can actually bring some stimulation to your pituitary gland. So maybe you need a new vision to work towards in life, a new direction. Can start to move the energy. So again, as long as you're not feeling massive pain, it's okay to do a little bit of work, gentle work, in this area. You ought to be amazed that a lot of what goes on in our bodies, like I said, half the time is not what we think is actually happening. And that's why we have to explore, whether it's mindset, whether it's a spiritual aspect, whether it's just, stress that could be going on in other areas, and it's just showing up in another area. Okay. All right. So I'm actually going to come over to the left foot here. Not feeling guided to do anything with the left hand, but I am feeling guided to come over here, because I know some are having the experience in both areas. So I'm just going to rub here. So you come here and start working on the ankles here. And already I feel something queuing up here. So I'm glad I actually came over to this foot, because it actually needs work. It's not in pain or anything. I just kind of energetically feel something when I started massaging my ankles. So we're going to do a spine walk too up here. Just one, up and down. We're going to go all the way up the big toe, and then come back down. And during this time, I want you to keep being present with your body, because it's still communicating to you in terms of what you most need. And some of you actually may feel guided to break off into some freestyle. Please feel free to do that. Follow the guidance of your body, because actually I'm following the guidance of mine when I said that we were going to just go up and down one time, and I got the guidance to go back up, come back down again. So yeah, so you have to just be in tune and in touch, There we go. All right. So let's rub the big toe here. And if you're not feeling any pain, I'm going to ask that you put just a little bit of pressure at the tip here, okay? Something else is that when you're having pituitary gland issues or so, filling in that hook, it could be that there's the onset of some sinus trouble happening too. So I would spend more time in this area, working this area, and seeing if it brings you some relief to that area. And again, you can do the tester in terms of, on a scale of 1 to 10, what does the pain feel like? And if it is over a 6, then I'm definitely going to recommend doing the soaking, certainly changing up the diet, and getting more hydration. Celery juice is a very good way to hydrate your body at the cellular level. So blending you some fresh celery juice is really good. Okay. So for those of you who were experiencing some pain in this area, with your thumb, just gently press in. What does that feel like? Because sometimes when you work on one foot, it actually brings energy over to this foot. So some of you may actually start feeling some easing up, or maybe no pain at all, anymore. Just depends. Just make some little gentle circles, because you do actually need to move the energy in that area. And if you press in and take a deep breath, and just be present with that discomfort, and see if it will reveal anything to you. Sometimes something will come up. If not, it may seem you to be guided to work on some other area. But I would just say work more around it. If you're not in pain, work more around it. I'll be interested to know too how this supports you. And if you do decide to do some foot soaking or so, or change up some things in your diet, please share that with us, because it's going to be helpful and beneficial, to other people. It's irritating the tissue a little bit more. Like I said, moving that energy in certain areas. As long as you, again, not inflamed, tremendously, it's okay, to do the work. Going to work a little bit on the thymus gland area here. It doesn't help to show that some love. And then work your neck. Again, just trying to relieve some stress out of the body so that other areas can be better supported. All right, so let's do some rubbing here, actually on the front parts of the toes. Move some energy here. At least that's what my guidance is giving me. Again, you allow yourself to be divinely guided. But all of this is just great for helping to relieve stress. Anytime you can relax as much as possible, it's going to be extremely beneficial to the whole of your well-being. So you can see what I'm doing here. Just go to the tips of your sinus pads and just press, and take a deep breath, please. And let's go back to the intention from earlier about asking the pain what is the higher purpose and potential and possibilities, because it's leading you somewhere. And what I mean by leading you somewhere, in awareness, in terms of how to not just best support yourself, but you could get some insight of even a new direction in life to take. Some of you may be actually shifting jobs, starting a new career or business or so. You would be surprised the wisdom that the body contains that seems irrelevant to what you're doing. Just being really gentle with yourself. So whatever you can do to get some stimulation going here. Again, as long as you're not in severe pain. We just want that blood circulating. Okay, the tops of the foot, for whatever reason, are... I'm going to do it on both, actually. So may not can see this, but you know that's the area I'm working on. Just moving the blood up to the toes and then coming right over here. An acupressure point that I demonstrate a lot is liver 3, and it's coming right in here. You can do it on both feet. And sometimes you feel tenderness in there too, and that's a good area to work. And so if you're having that discomfort in that pineal, pituitary gland area, start working in here, because it could be that your liver needs to be detoxed. And maybe you can't do a detox right now, but you certainly can send stimulation of well-beingness to that particular area. Yeah. Okay. So what I would like for you to do is come back to that area and feel. Just press in, not too hard. And again, if it still feels really tender and there has been absolutely no change whatsoever, then you might need to do this process again. But as I recommend, definitely soak your feet and get hydrated. But I'm so glad that you are on this path of the DIY wellness. We'd be surprised how much we have within our hands to bring wholeness to our lives. Just transform your well-beingness. Sometimes you're able to do better for yourself than even physicians can. And as I always say, that's not ruling them out. They have their place. But instead of doing the doctor default, see what you can do for yourself, and just not be in that defaulting mode where it's going to, let me pop a pill for this, let me go and do this. And again, not so much doing so much research on the internet as well, being able to be present with your body to know exactly what you need. Definitely in the comments, let me know how this served you, or if you are still experiencing quite a bit of pain or so after a few days of doing this. I can always do another follow-up video and provide some blog post or so that can be even more helpful. But we'll see what you can do with this first. But if you are having, like I said, a lot of pain, just stay out of the areas and work on other areas that are going to be more relaxing for you. Just make sure that you are drinking plenty of water, and again, just tuning into the body in terms of what you need for hydration. Fruits are really good, for hydration. Your green leafy vegetables or so are really good for cellular hydration as well. So I'm just working like in here. And some of you are just getting benefits, even if you're not in pain, just benefits just from being able to work on yourself during this time. And that's what these sacred spaces are that I try to create, is that, yes, I am demonstrating, I am showing you, different ways that you can work on yourself, but ultimately I'm just happy that you are taking the time to either learn or to be working on yourself and to find out exactly what your body is requiring during this time. So I'm going to close this down here. What I want each of you to do, especially if you've been in pain, let's go back here. Let's not press though. Let's just hold. And let's just see if there's any final wisdom and insights. Take a deep breath, please. Is there anything else that your pituitary gland area needs you to know? And some of you may be guided to work longer on yourself. Some of you may be guided to actually do more arm massaging. And again, it doesn't have to make sense. It's just connected in some type of way. Okay, so I'm actually going to close down with doing a little more wrist massaging. Get a little bit of lotion here. And it's interesting because I'm wiggling my feet here because I can feel it's, you know, connected. I can feel the energy just by me working on my wrist. I can feel the energy moving through my feet. And again, I have been doing this for quite some time, so those triggers of that sensitivity in a good way, you know, can help to stimulate in an accelerated way, you know, for me to get those benefits and that relief, you know, right away. Even though I'm not experiencing any pain or anything, it's just that, yeah, I can just feel the energy. So again, just working the wrist here. And some of you may come back and do your left side or whatever side, the opposite side, and spend some time doing some stimulation here on the pituitary gland, you know, on your hands, just on your thumb here, and see if that will actually bring, like I said, some relief. But continue to focus on the higher purpose and higher possibilities. And you'll be so glad that you have taken this time out and what this leads to for you. Like I said, you start off doing one thing, but it's opening up the doors of awareness and the doors of new possibilities for you. You never know how this is going to benefit your life in a multidimensional way. So I just wanted to take some time out. This is a much longer video than normally what I do, but I followed the guidance and felt it was really relevant for several different reasons, even more so than just the initial reason of coming to talk about the pituitary gland area. So do your own research as well and be present with your body so that you can be guided to that. Again, hydrate yourself and just be present with your body. That's what I can tell you in terms of you being able to be really that inner authority of your well-beingness. And as always, I love to feature my publication. I touch myself and I like it. And there'll be a link in the description where you can secure a copy, but it is available on Amazon. And I look forward to bringing more videos of this nature to you soon. Take care.